for the NACAC Championship in Canada. So I want to put together a really strong run, and I think things are coming together okay. It's not perfect, but it's good. You know, it's all about being patient, because for me, the ultimate goal is 2019, and each race is just an advantage and is something to get me to the next one.
Is there ever any pressure on you to try a 400?
No. Surprisingly, I did while I was having my son last year. I remember being in the hospital bed and getting ready to have him, and I was like, I would take a 400 any day over this. But no, at that time, no 400s for me.
For another day. Can I just mention, by the way, the weather forecast is fantastic for both days of this weekend. We don't often get to say that in Britain, but it is fantastic and has been for a while. Across the 4 days of the Athletics World Cup and the London Diamond League, we expect to have sold between 90,000 and 100,000 tickets. Anything you can do to get it nearer that upper figure would be very much appreciated, but I think something that everyone in athletics can be proud of. Christian, this is a stadium that you've got good memories of, isn't it? You've never lost a bolt, and a lot of that was here last year.
Yeah. I was telling me and my agent were talking about that earlier. I love coming to London. Obviously, I have great memories here, and we was at the track earlier, and, it brought back a lot of memories. So I'm looking forward to making more. But like you said, it was my first major championship, and, I came here and got a silver medal. It's something I'll never forget.
And unusually for sprinters, because we usually hear sort of May, June time, bit of a hamstring injury, going to miss the next meeting, and it ends up being the whole season. You have come back to great form off the back of an injury of that kind, was it? What was the issue?
It was just something I tweaked in my hamstring, and I think it's something that as you go throughout the sport, you learn more about your body, and, you learn more about what you need to do off the track to be able to maintain and, still perform. And, I probably should just, taken more time, then when I felt something, but I just kept trying to, push through it, and then, realized that, I made it worse than what it actually was. And it's just one of those things that happens to everyone. Everybody, gets an injury, whether it's your hamstring, quad, whatever it is, it's going to happen. And, you just have to deal with it and try to get better. And so I just use it as a learning experience, and, hopefully I don't have any issues in the future.
Are you 100% fit or somewhere in the 90s?
I'm 100% healthy. I wouldn't say I'm, at the level of fitness I was at during the indoor season, but I think that, once I get more races under my belt, and just, continue to train and go throughout the season, I'll continue to get better.
We're going through a very good spell with British sprinters, one of whom's alongside you, but in the men's competition as well. Do you pay attention to that? Are you noticing what the British athletes are doing, or do you just concentrate on your own and immediate environment?
Right now, I got to worry about the American athletes. I got to worry about everybody on the line. And so I kind of just focus on myself, worry about my lane. And like you said, the British athletes, are good as well. They beat us in the 4x1, so obviously they have a lot of talent. And I'm just looking forward to the challenge in the upcoming years of racing American athletes, British, Jamaican, everybody. I'm just looking forward to the challenge.
And it's almost 12 months since Bolt retired in this stadium. Do you get sick of people like me asking about who's going to be the next Bolt and where you stand in all of that?
Nah, I think that's just a huge blessing to even be in that type of conversation and to have my name brought up with somebody of that caliber. To me, I don't look at it as, like you said, I get annoyed of it. To me, that's just a blessing, and it just shows how far I've come in the sport. And, hopefully my name continues to be in that conversation of, who will be the next guy to take over.
Indoors, it looked like in quite a few of your races, excluding the World Indoor Championships, that you were able to ease up over 60 metres and still win and still run great times. And what do you think you can run over 60, and what do you think you can run over 100 with a perfect race?
I don't know. It's hard to put together a perfect race. It's always some things that you can work on. And, even when I won the championship indoors, I look back at the film, and it was just like, man, it was just so many things I did wrong. And so I don't not to necessarily, shoot for times. I just try to go out there and try to win every race. And I think that when you try to go out there and you try to put a perfect race together, and, you strain in and trying to go for a certain time, I don't think that you'll ever reach it. And so I just try to just go out there and compete every race and try to go out there with the win, try to get the win. And I think we were doing that, and it's a special moment, and you prepare for that. That's when fast times come, and so I'm just looking forward to getting better and trying to run fast times that way.
And given the season you've had, you're going to potentially be racing twice within an hour and a half. Are you happy about that, or would you prefer just the one-off race?
I think it'll be good for me. I think that I'll use the first round to, fill it out and as like a warm up for the final, and you make it through, get to the final, and then it's on from there. And so I think it'll be good. I think I'm prepared for it, and so I'm looking forward to it. Let's
turn our attention to Dina and the selection for the European Championships in Berlin is on Monday. You've got a Commonwealth medal at 200. You've notably been running 100 since then. Are you wanting to be in the hat for both events plus the relay?
Yeah. Oh, hi. But definitely, I would like to be selected for both of them. I qualified for the 100 by winning the British champs, and I kind of have a wild card from being the reigning European 200 champ. So yeah, my aim is to go and double up in Berlin.
And your season has been pretty flawless so far. What are your expectations across the weekend?
Thanks. I wouldn't say it's been flawless, but thank you very much. I've been really happy with how the season's gone, obviously, because last year was obviously wasn't the most ideal situation, especially with the home champs coming up. But this weekend it will be really, really good to go and improve on my season's best in the 200. Obviously, want to go down there and put together a good race in front of a home crowd. That's always the aim when I race in London. It fills my heart with joy to be able to race in front of that crowd. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to be able to do a 2 there.
And when we've spoken to you over the years, you've been busy studying A-levels. You got your 2-1 from King's in history. You've been rehabbing intensively from that ankle a year ago. Have you got bored over the last year? What are you doing to fill your time?
I haven't been bored, no. I've been enjoying being kind of chilled, which is a change for me. Normally I'm so used to being so busy, but I've just moved out, kind of got my own space, trying to find a groove in life. When you're just trying to grow up and be an adult and kind of get your head around council tax and bills, that's me. And food shopping, which is really expensive. So I've just been trying to grow up over the past year, really. I've been so fortunate to have parents and family and friends always around me, kind of making sure that both I've got the most loving and performance-orientated environment at home. So for me, the past year has been trying to take that and make it my own in my own little space. So.
And as almost everybody knows, in 2012 you were a kit bag carrier as a volunteer at these championships. Do you ever think back to that? What are your memories of it 6 years on?
Well, I feel like I was really fortunate to have had the opportunity. And yeah, it's great to go out there and be trackside. But for me, I think it instilled how proud people are when you run, because I was fortunate enough to be there on Super Saturday with obviously Jess, Greg and Mo doing the incredible and winning a gold at Home Olympics. But what stuck with me from that was the fact that the crowd just was so euphoric, and they felt so proud of the 3 athletes, and they might not have known them personally, but people were crying at the fact that they kind of fulfilled their dreams and fulfilled their goals, and that really resonated with me. So that's why I really enjoy running in front of home crowds, because it gives the opportunity, just by kind of doing well for yourself and running a fast time, you can make people happy in ways that might seem crazy to you, but it makes them really smile, and that's what makes me happy as well.
Were you a kit carrier for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce?
I'm going to say I don't think I was.
But you don't know?
No, but I definitely enjoyed watching it. Yeah, and it really, I'm going to say this, that sounds so weird, but yeah, I really am enjoying seeing her coming back after obviously having her child, because as women, I think it's probably one of the most admirable things that you can do. We've obviously seen it with Jess, who came back to take a world title, which for me was absolutely incredible to witness. You're seeing it right now with Serena and obviously Shelly-Ann as well. So yeah, I know personally, obviously as kind of a competitor, but she's different. she's like Olympic champ, so she's different to me. But as somebody that has the opportunity to race against her, I do think it's really, really inspiring what she's doing. And yeah.
Thank you. Questions from you? If there are, yes.
Obviously, Daphne is, well, world champion, reigning European champion over the 100. She is an absolutely incredible athlete. And yeah, definitely, like, she's so fast. But there are also so many other girls in Europe that are running quick times as well. I think you've just seen Manyonga go sub-11 for the first time. And obviously, the German girls are fast anyway. But with it being a home champs, you know that they're going to bring their A game. So there are so many fast girls. There are so many big competitors in Europe. I just want to go there and put together a good race and hope that it places me where I want to finish.
Question perhaps for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, but if the others want to chip in, that'd be fine. The IAAF recently held a conference seminar on biomechanics, and I don't pretend to have read all the report on it, but given seeing you three of you standing up there, Shelly-Ann, you are the more diminutive of the trio. I mean, biomechanics, is that something that you and your coaches have paid a lot of attention to in your life, or is it a case of sometimes, well, don't mess around too much with what you've been given, otherwise you can spoil it?
I definitely think my coach does experiment with biomechanics. You know, sometimes in training there are different things that we do to try and see what we can get from it. And I think for me, my height is, I'm short, but I'm also very efficient from the blocks. And he tries to, you know, there's this camera thing that they have, and I don't remember this gate thing that we run through just to see your stride length and everything that happens. And I think it works for us. And he assesses, you know, my stride length and how I, you know, exit out the block. And it has been working for us. I mean, I don't change much when it comes to my start, because I think it's okay. Right now, it's not 100%, but it's coming, and that's expected because there's not enough power there. But I do just focus on, you know, just executing the first 30 as best as I can, and I just leave the rest to the coach. Yeah.
Christian, are you a technically driven athlete coach pairing?
Yeah, I mean, I've had different workouts where, you know, that's just what we do. The full time is just, you know, study film and do different drills that we get from working with this guy USATF works with for biomechanics. And so I think it's good, and I think it's helpful. We do a lot of things to try to, you know, look and see, you know, how you can extend your stride length and how much pressure you're like applying when you're coming out of the blocks, and how much force you're putting into the ground, and what you can do to improve that. And so I think it's good for the sport. It's obviously helped, and I think yeah, I mean, it's helped me improve on my start, and also helped me improve on my weaknesses. And so I think it's good, and so yeah, we've definitely used it.
Dina, do you know how many steps you take in 100? How many breaths you take?
I think my coach does, but I haven't got a clue. But yeah, definitely the same as these two guys. Biomechanics are really, really important and integral to my training program, obviously, when I'm racing girls that have knees that come up to my shoulders. So yeah, we did look at the study a bit. I thought it was really interesting because for me it's all about, much like Shelly-Ann, making sure that I maximise my stride length, being on the shorter side. Yeah, that's really, really important. So I've got to make sure that relative to my height, my stride length is as long as possible whilst not compromising turnover. So for me, biomechanics is really, really important and ultimately helps us, and well, me and us all become better athletes.
Your dear mother would like you to run an 800.
Oh, no. No.
Are you years away from running a 4x4 leg or anything like that?
The thing is, I'd really like to do a 4x4 one day, not a 4 flat. That's different, but it is completely different. But I love to run a 4x4. It looks like a lot of fun. I say that tentatively, but yeah, like the kind of team spirit, kind of jostling and holding on at the end. It looks like fun. I'm sure it's not fun when you're running it, but no. Oh yeah, not fun if you get the baton last. No. Actually, don't give it to me first. I'll probably get taken over. Maybe not. I'm joking. No, I'd actually quite like to do a 4x4. I had this conversation a few times over the past year, and I said it to my coach. I want to try hurdles. I want to try a 4x4. So, you know, years later.
You two both want to try hurdles. I can see a race coming on. Day 3 of the anniversary games.
It looks fun, doesn't it? It looks fun.
My coach always says you're a sprinter.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Any more questions? Yes.
Honestly, it was pretty tough mentally. It was something I've never had to deal with, and sitting out and just not training, not doing anything, just doing rehab and just trying to get back right, but not being able to go full speed in practice. That's tough mentally, especially in the middle of a season and during a season where you got guys running fast and you're watching all these races with American athletes and. Yeah, it's just something I've never had to deal with, and so I was just blessed to have people around me that helped me realize the positive in the situation. With it being an off year, and just using it as a learning experience, and just trying to keep that competitive edge, knowing that my time will come, and I'm supposed to be here, and so I'll get back to full form eventually, and just keep the faith and just keep training and just stay patient, and my time will come. And so it was definitely tough mentally and physically, and so it was just something I had to deal with, and like I said, I use it as a learning experience.
Christian, I just wondered how important it was then to push yourself to come back and do these bigger races as well. You could have shied away from facing the top guys, but you haven't.
Yeah, I think that's just, I don't know, that's just my competitive spirit. I don't know, I was scheduled to run all these races this season, and even though it didn't go the way that I planned it to go, hit a bump in the road, I still wanted to get back right and try to come out here and compete, because that's just the type of athlete and competitor that I am. I want to go out there and see where I am against the best in the world, and throw my hat in the ring and try to prove that this is why I'm in the conversation of being the fastest guy in the world. And so. Yeah, I mean, I could have, like you said, just shied away and just, kind of shut it down for the season and just get back right for next year for the World Championships. But, no, I just, I love running track, and so I love the competitive aspect of it. And I wanted to come out here and try to compete and try to see where I am.
Are you friends with your American rivals over 100, or is it like heavyweight boxing where it's a little bit tense?
I mean, we're not like, the best of friends. Like, I mean, I know them, of course, and, I have their, phone numbers and whatnot. If I need to talk to them, I will. But nah, when we come to competition, it's kind of just, like you said, heavyweight boxing. It's like, I don't even look at them. It's just, I don't know. But during the off season, yeah, we're cool. We see each other all the time and everything. But during competition, it's kind of intense, and so. But I like that about the sport. It's competitive. It's kind of like a friendly competition. But, when you step on the track, it's all business and it's no friends.
Are the women a bit more collaborative, or do you scratch at each other in the call room?
It's exactly the same. It's the same.
Any more questions? Yes.
Not necessarily relief. It was kind of sad. He was somebody that you grew up watching and wanted to be like and idolize, and he's a celebrity, and so it was just a blessing to be able to get the opportunity to line up next to him before he retired. I think he announced it the year before, and so I was just looking forward to that race. For a whole year, and then I finally got the opportunity and wanted to take advantage of it. And he's just such an icon in the sport; he can't be replaced, and so he's always going to be a part of the conversation. So not necessarily a relief. You have guys in the sport who have been doing it for a long time. You want to get the opportunity to race them and, learn from them and everything like that. And so, not a relief. As a competitor, you want to go out there and compete against the best, and, he's the best as it gets. And so, I was just blessed to have the opportunity to line up against him, before he retired.
I'm conscious that we have our second press conference starting in barely 10 minutes from now, but there will be the opportunity for one-to-ones. Good luck to all three of you over the weekend, over 1 and 200. Let's hear it for all three of them, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready to start, if you can hear outside. Well, I think we'll make a start, everybody, because we begin with photographs anyway. Sorry if I gave you slightly incorrect start times for our second and third press conference. We're about 10 minutes late on this, which is going to be a jumps fest. And then our final press conference with the para-jumping athletes is scheduled for 1 o'clock. So let's introduce them in the order in which I have them, starting with the World, European, Olympic and Commonwealth champion in the long jump, Greg Rutherford.
Why don't you just put your hands on both the chairs? On one or the other. That's great. There we go. Okay, you're looking straight down at me. Thank you.
One side, yeah, thank you. And second, the reigning world champion and Olympic silver medalist in the long jump for South Africa, Luvo Manyonga.
Okay, step down at my camera. Nice smile. Thank you. For me. And just here for a minute. Thank you.
And finally, in what looks suspiciously like a Spurs shirt, but I suspect is France, please welcome the 2018 World Indoor Champion, the 2012 Olympic champion in the pole vault for France, Renaud Lavillenie.
Down at my camera. Just a hint of a smile. Thank you.
And then all three of you together, please. I think they want a photo of you together against the backdrop.
Okay, we can just look down at this camera. Thank you very much.
So have a seat, chaps. It's two microphones between the three of you. Let's start with the man nearest to me, Renaud. What's it been like to be a Frenchman this last 7 days?
Well, it's good, huh? Yeah, I mean, everybody is happy in France, so we get some very good spirit. And I mean, for us, for sportsmen, we know that's going to be very tough to be in the news because everybody is concentrate for the soccer game and also for the Tour de France. But I mean, it's good for our country, so I'm very proud for that.
And this is a special stadium for you, obviously, where you won your Olympic title. It's a pretty good one for vaulting generally. I know it was windy when you won in 2012, but last weekend for the Athletics World Cup, it was just perfect. Yeah, definitely. It's a very good stadium. I mean, I love competing in England because people love track and field, and they show us how to be the support for the sport. And I mean, every time I'm competing in this stadium, I've been able to make something good. Even if I mean, last year for the world was not as I could expect it, but with my injury, it was way better than I was able to do. So yeah, it's every time good feeling to be back in this place and just enjoy, and get
those good feeling from years ago. But you know, it's good to get the mindset for that.
In the last 7 days, we've had a 6 meter 17 vault, and it was a guy on a skateboard. How hard can it be to vault that high if the guy's on the skateboard? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the thing is, I know pretty well the guy, Baptiste. He's a good friend, so I know his real level and his skateboard level, and it's just a big difference. I mean, as you have to know, he's jumping 575 in regular things, and to jump 617, he jumped with the same pole I used when I jumped the world record. So it's like maybe 20, 30 poles bigger than he used to do he wasn't used to take in a real life. But I think it's a great feeling to show that maybe, you know, for people who are not able to run anymore, they can use a skateboard and, I mean, doing pole vault. So I mean, it's more for the old guys, but we'll see in the future.
That'll be you in 15 years, will it? On the old wheeled transport up to the...
I mean, why not? I know that I have to try it real for to have the feeling, you know, because the approach is not the same, definitely. But I mean, why not in 10 years, 15 years for me? You know, be involved for real for that. But I mean, actually, I use my legs to do it, and I try to keep it.
Can you skateboard?
Yeah, a little bit.
Last weekend at the Athletics World Cup, Sam Kendricks had the bar put at 6:05, and he had one or two close attempts there. What might we expect from you this weekend if it goes well?
Well, I mean, we can be sure that we will have a great competition. I mean, Sam is in shape. Mondo also, Duplantis is in shape straight after the World Junior. So we can be sure that we could be at least three guys over 580, maybe 590. I mean, that's the goal for us. And I mean, for Mondo and me, our goal is just to be set to be ready for the European Championships in Berlin. But we can be sure that Sam is a very great competitor and every time pushing the limit. So, well, we just have to wait, be on the track, and do as high as possible we can. But yeah, we all want to be, you know, at the top in this stadium. So that's going to be a good competition.
In the previous press conference, we had Christian Coleman saying that among the male sprinters, they've all got each other's phone numbers and sometimes they're in touch. But during the season, they're like heavyweight boxers. They want to punch each other's lights out. Pole vault is almost the opposite of that, isn't it? Where you lead the applause for each other, you help each other with the wind gauge and things like that. It doesn't seem as fierce.
Yeah, definitely. It's totally the opposite. I mean, we are every time helping each other. When we are on a track, we have to, I mean, we can't do bad thing with the other one because we know that it can be so dangerous. And I mean, we saw by the past that if you have, I mean, one bad day, you can fall on just next to the box or to the pit, and it's could be some bad consequences. So we are, you know, like all good friends. Even if when the competition starts, we all want to beat the other one, but. I mean, we text each other every week, and it's you know, like a colony group, and going competition after competition, having some good times, do our best on the track, and then get back to have some good times. So.
Let's turn to Luvo. We'll save Greg till last. So you had an amazing competition in the Athletics World Cup last weekend, where all four of your jumps were that close, around the 8.5 meter mark. What were your thoughts on your current form and the way you compete in that stadium?
It was quite exciting competition, and I was quite feeling comfortable because as I was crowned as a world champion here, so it's kind of coming back home kind of feeling, and also producing those distance. It shows that I'm in a good shape of my life, you see, and I also love the creativity that they did of elevating the track. It's quite cool, and can't wait for this weekend.
For you, is 9 meters a barrier that is like something that's motivated you ever since you came into the sport, or you just want to win competitions?
Yes, it is on the back of my mind, but also I have to focus on what's going on today, not chasing something that it's a thing that is gonna come on its own. I cannot put a date and a time. It can come any day. It depends on the condition of the day and the condition of the body too.
What would you be happy with? Are you looking for further than last weekend?
I'm just looking for a great competition, an exciting event, and I enjoy having fun. You know, fun is better than anything else in long jump. You don't have anything else but fun. That's my goal in the long jump.
Have the long jumpers all got each other's phone numbers? Do they keep in touch, or do they want to punch each other's lights out?
Not really. We don't have numbers texting each other, but when we go to a competition, we're family. Like, it's very different to any kind of sport. We go there and then we cheer each other. We make sure that the crowd is working with the person that is going to jump, and we push each other for the best jumpers in the competition. You know, even we know a person that can jump very far. If the person is struggling, we just go to the person and tell the person, "You got this. Let's go. Now it's time to jump." That's what we do most of the time.
South Africa is going through somewhat of a golden era in track and field. You're part of that. You've got sprinters. You've got people that are winning Commonwealth titles and things like that. What are your thoughts on where South Africa goes from here?
Yeah, on my thought on that, because there's the great Wade van Niekerk and Caster Semenya. Those are the South African icons in track and field. Like, they open doors for us and show us that it's possible, it can be done. And also, they didn't go to any country to make it happen. They stayed in South Africa. It shows us that we can make it in South Africa. And everyone that's coming behind me, they also see that it's possible to be done at home. So that's the spirit that we have now. We also speak in person, telling each other that we have to compete to each other before we face the world. So when we come out from South Africa, we're the greatest.
Long may it continue. Let's turn our attention now to Greg. Final competition in your theatre of dreams. As all of your teammates from past Olympics have retired, I've noticed on social media you've wished them the best and said, "I'm still going," and now you're in the home straight. Is it a bit emotional?
It is, yeah. I mean, this is going to be a very emotional weekend for me. I think every time I compete in the UK, it's very emotional. Obviously, since London, what is now 6 years ago, which is absolutely shot past, I've had such an amazing reception every time I step out into a stadium that it does bring a bit of a tear to the eye, and that's going to be no different on Sunday. To be totally honest, this is going to be a very emotional weekend. I'll probably be crying more than I'll be jumping, to be honest. But I'm really looking forward to go out there and enjoying it. And we've got obviously these guys out there that are going to sort of set the pit alight, if you like, in that way. And I'm chuffed that I get to be a part of that and cheer it on and have a good time.
What constitutes success for you this weekend? What kind of shape are you in? What are you looking for come Sunday evening?
This is something I've been trying to get across recently. I'm in a very different place than where I was a couple of years ago. I'm not now coming into Diamond League events, etc. Said, right, I'm here to win it. I want to do all that sort of thing. I know my body is in a bit of a rough place, which is frustrating, but equally I've had to accept it. It is what it is. For me, just going out and jumping half decent will be nice. It's a bit of a make or break weekend for me, because if I jump probably just over 8 meters, then I'll probably go to the Europeans. If not, then I think I'll leave it there and get ready for the last couple that I'll have. So it is really finishing for me soon. That's becoming a reality. But like Luvo was saying, like, everybody's got each other's backs out there. We just want to have a good time, and it's similar. I mean, field eventers, I think we get on a lot better than maybe sprinters, etc. do, just because it's us versus the pit a little bit more rather than each other. And we have a really good time. And for me to be finishing and having one of my last competitions here in London, that's going to be really, really special.
So if it's an attempt to get Berlin qualification, all or nothing on Sunday, will you go all out on the first jump, or will you have one to get your range and then try and build from there? What's your thoughts? How's the body?
Yeah, well, all out is a relative term, I guess, with me at the moment. Yes, look, it's difficult for me now to jump multiple rounds. It just becomes quite painful quite quickly on my left ankle. So I will be trying straight away to jump well. The thing is, I've not jumped now in a few weeks. After I sort of did a couple of competitions on the trot. So I'll probably be feeling it out the first one, then the second or third we'll see. And then we'll just see where I'm at that point. As I say, like this for me, as much as, yes, it'd be great to jump far and then let's say, okay, brilliant, I'm going to go to the Europeans. Equally, it's a huge opportunity for me to come out and sort of have a bit of a wave and a bit of a thank you to the British crowd that have supported me for such a long time. And I'm hopeful that we have a really big crowd there on Sunday, because it will be a fantastic event. And it's something that, for me, I'm known for taking selfies, signing autographs, doing that sort of stuff. I think that's probably going to be predominantly what I'm doing as well, mixing it with the crowd and trying to give back a little bit. Because the thing is, look, I've said it a lot, athletics is not in the place where I think it should be with regards to people getting behind the sport and everything else. So if the athletes can give back, and we can have performers like these guys going out there and really jumping as far as they can, going as high as they can. I mean, it's impressive to watch. We need to showcase that as much as possible. And if I can be a bit of a footnote in a competition that was waving and signing autographs and whatever else, you can tell by my tone it's a very different mindset than what I would have had 2 years ago. But I'm here to enjoy it, and what a fantastic place to do it.
You did put out on social media what's the world record for selfies, and I don't know if you saw, but the Guinness World Record guy replied.
Oh,
said
I haven't seen that.
It's 180 in 3 minutes, but you're looking at more like 3 hours, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm known for endurance when it comes to that side of things. So let's see how many people we can get through, and then see if we can. That'd be nice to break. Actually, we should definitely get an official from the Guinness Book of World Records down, and see how many we can get through. Because at times when you're doing it, especially when you're there for a good hour or two, you get through an awful lot. But no, and that's part of it. As I say, like if I can give back in that way, I say my performance levels aren't quite going to be, I think, where I would like them to be. But if I can give back in another way, I think that's a wonderful thing. And again, as I say, get behind everybody else out there and have a really good time. That's the plan, anyway.
I think you have managed our expectations around your likelihood of doing 8.5 metres. Final question from me. When you look back 6 years, often memories come down to little snapshots, little pictures from the week, from the hour in the stadium. What are yours?
Funnily enough, I was thinking about that a little bit earlier, actually, and it's, I mean, people who know Ross Murray, I was talking to Roscoe earlier, and I remember the moment when he came out to run, and I was on the runway, and I sort of had a quick few words with him. He's stayed a close friend. I remember during the competition, after the first round, when I ran through, somebody in the crowd said, "Come on, Greg, this is your time." And it's little moments like that which I will always remember and always think of really, really fondly. Obviously, winning was incredible, and going on to win other things was brilliant. But it's just those moments that when you think of that day, come straight into your head. Even things like a bag check when I'm standing with Dan Paff, obviously, in my opinion, that one of the greatest coaches of all time, and been such an amazing man in my life. Just going through that process with somebody like that as well. It's the little tiny things that probably most other people don't really see, but us as the athletes, that's our life. They're the things that I'm probably going to miss a lot of as well, spending a lot of time, and again, sitting next to these guys and hanging out. I'll be doing it in a different capacity soon. So I'm going to miss an awful lot from the sport, but it's been fantastic, and it's been a pretty good ride up to this point.
We might see you on a motorised skateboard doing long jump.
Tell you what, I could do with that at the moment, to be honest. That would definitely be anything that can help. That would be great.
Questions from you?
It would.
Greg, you're talking about the ending of your era, as it were, in jumping. What's the next era? What are you going to do?
Well, for me, broadcasting was always the plan once I retired. And I had a nice taste of it last year, obviously, watching the World Championships and covering it. So that's going to be predominantly where I see myself. Now, I've obviously spoken about and toyed with the idea of track cycling as well. That is something that I'm going to try, because as much as I struggle to run in a straight line, jump into a sandpit anymore, I can still produce a lot of power. I think I've always been known as probably one of the strongest long jumpers there is when it comes to lifting and power that I can produce. So I'm gonna trial other things, but I think as well I'm going to sit back and enjoy what these guys can do, especially between Luvo and Echeverria. I think we're going to see a really fantastic new era of long jumping, which I think is going to be incredibly exciting. So as an armchair fan, I think I'm going to have a really good time with that. So yeah, so we'll see. So you'll still see me kicking about athletics competitions. I'll be talking about it rather than doing it, but I'm excited about the next chapter.
Yes, Ben.
Luvo, your rivalry with Echeverria that Greg just touched on, how do you see that? Are you excited by it? Do you see this as the future for the next few years, the two of you?
Yeah, I'm very excited about getting a new competitive, and also it's gonna bring a lot of excitement in long jump. It's been a while, having someone going close to 9 meters, so it's gonna bring more athletes to get hungry to go to reach that 9 meters. So this year is gonna be the closest that any athletes can go to 9 meters. between me and him. So I hope there's more athletes that can come out and show the world that 9 meters is not a undoable distance.
Have you been surprised by the distances that he's jumped?
Not really, because I also did some of the distance in training, but on the circuit they haven't come out, you know. So I know I'm capable to jump further than that, you know. So I know for a fact that I was born to break that 9 meters barrier, you know. So it's just a matter of time and where it's gonna happen. Yeah, and there was no one who ran under 9 seconds before, and then there was someone. So it's a good opportunity for me also to get pushed to go beyond the meters.
Okay, we wish all three of you the very best of luck, especially in holding body and soul together in a very familiar arena to all three of you. Thank you very much.
Just want to step this